I Was There, Man, episode 28. He named the boy Trent is brought to you by Soulyric. Details at the end of the show. Brad, the founder and creator of Soulyric, is this show's storyteller.
And I was there, man.
I was there.
And I was there.
I was there, man.
But baby, I was there, man.
Picture this. You go to a concert and it changes you. So you go again and again and again. For some people, seeing a band live once is enough. For others, it becomes ritual, a pilgrimage, and a lifestyle.
And Brad didn't just like Nine Inch Nails, he fully committed. We're talking almost 30 shows, different cities, different tours, different stages of life.
From the chaos of the early years to the precision of the later productions, Brad was there, over and over again, and at some point, fandom crossed a line. Not in a creepy way, in a life-changing way.
Because when the music becomes part of your identity, when it carries you through breakups, bad jobs, and late nights, it's more than just a band. Not quite cult-like, but like family. And sometimes that's not just a metaphor. Here's Brad.
How many washed up hockey players does it take to turn on Facebook Live?
Yeah, exactly.
Well, it's nice to meet you, Brad.
Yeah, likewise.
And thanks for coming on, man.
So Brad's our first sponsor. Thanks, buddy. I appreciate it.
Totally.
Yeah, thanks you guys for being supporters of what I have going on there.
So,
I'm having fun with it. So yeah,
It's a good match, man. That's for damn sure. Dave also hinted you may have a story for us since we are a concert story.
I have so many stories I could tell you about.
So we also have not only are we sort of washed up hockey players, but we share something else in common. We both named our kids after rock and roll folks. So I can't let you go without at least touching on what motivated you to name your son the name you gave him, and I'll let you take it from there.
Yeah. And it's not shithead. I know you're thinking that, but no, just kidding. I love my son dearly. My son Trent. And my daughter, in case she sees this. But yeah, I mean, I grew up, my parents were very young when they had me, so they were super into music. I grew up with just crazy amounts of music around me all the time. And, my dad was into, in the 70s, everyone was listening to kind of like 70s rock, but he was getting into like ska, and then he got into reggae, and he was listening to some of the early hip hop, tons of disco. Like I grew up around disco, like ridiculous. So all that kind of like those genres really kind of melded into, where I started going. But early days I was kind of a little skate punk and got really into, some of these like, great tiny little bowling alley backroom punk rock shows and stuff like that. And it was just so much fun for me. But also living in Detroit, there was this incredible like music scene, these, after hours nightclubs. And it was like the early rave days in the late 80s. So, I had this like punk rock side of me, and then I had, started going to these raves, and the energy in these clubs, and these, abandoned warehouses that people brought a generator and a couple turntables. It was just so amazing. But for me, like what really hit me eventually was the blend of those two, which is, I guess, a genre we call industrial music, right? And so, I spent a lot of time at, different little underground alternative gothy clubs and stuff like that. So Bauhaus and all those bands were big in my playlist. And so my buddy and I were going to see Peter Murphy, former lead singer of Bauhaus. And, pretty chill show. And to be honest, like, it was rare to get me out of the house before midnight because nothing good ever happened before 2 a.m. anyway. But my buddy Mike, he insisted. He's like, we got to go early. We got to check out this new band that's opening up for them. And I mean, I would have completely missed that show had he not insisted on this. And so we show up at the Latin Quarter, and this is '89. So Latin Quarter in Detroit, and get there, and there's like fences and chains and stuff around the stage. I'm like, all right, this is gonna be cool. And out pops Nine Inch Nails, Trent Reznor with super long hair and his clothes are all ripped up and meshy, and he's swinging from chains and jumping on fences and, right into it with Head Like a Hole. And I was just absolutely blown away. Like, I just could not believe, like, what I was seeing. It was the best music. It just, like, spoke to me. Like, it had all the raw energy and the, teen angst and, everything you want in music, I guess. And had an absolute blast at that show. And it just, that from then on, I went and saw every single show. I've probably seen Min good 30 sometimes at this point. I don't enjoy going to like the bigger venues these days, the stadium shows and everything, but I'll do it every once in a while.
So that's gotta be, Dave, I'll mention that. Brad just hit a new record of the show. Up till now, we had one storyteller who saw Bruce Springsteen 18 times.
Oh, yeah.
If you literally saw Nine Inch Nails 30 times, you're clearly the champion.
Yep. Yeah. Definitely in the upper to mid 20s. So I think most people that know me can attest to it. That I've just seen them everywhere.
Well, and you took me to the cover band right to San Diego. Right, you took me to see the cover band in San Diego.
We saw a cover band Nails, I think, in San Diego here. That was pretty fun as well. So
I was lucky enough that I caught the first Lollapalooza here in Toronto, and they were on in the middle of the afternoon, which is kind of bizarre. Seeing these guys in black fishnets and and eyeliner running down his face. And whatever was that, and I couldn't believe that they pulled off the record live. I was real close to the stage, and I literally went, I'm not expecting much out of this, man. Industrial acts don't translate a lot of times live.
Right.
They nailed it, man. I could hear everything.
It's funny, he's a great performer, and when my wife back then was pregnant, I really wanted to name my son Concrete because I was in architecture school. So Concrete I thought was a good, strong name. And I said either Concrete or Trent. And she agreed to Trent somehow. So it worked out well.
The process of elimination. Nice.
Yeah, right.
I saw them.
You know she's going to say no with. And,
right, exactly. Yeah. I saw them in Woodstock in '94, climbing out of the mud.
Yeah.
So I haven't. I think I've only seen him. I think once, maybe twice.
Okay.
Yeah, the other time I wouldn't. Yeah, but I think just the once. But that was something else. That was some show.
I'll piggyback onto that, Dave. I got real lucky, Brad. And you probably saw this. If you saw him 30 times, you saw the stop of this tour. When Trent produced the David Bowie record from Afraid of Americans. So they came to Maple Leaf Gardens, a historic, great venue to see concerts back in those late 80s, early 90s days. Here in Toronto, man, about 18,000 people. They were the opening band, and they stayed on, and David walked out, and they backed him up for the rest of the night. It was an amazing.
It's so cool. It's cool. Yeah, they've done a good job with, like, collaborating with other, artists and like, downplaying their part of it, like the Ninja tour with like Jane's Addiction and stuff. They didn't headline that. They let Jane's Addiction, headline that as kind of a term of respect, which I appreciate. But it's always been some really good stuff, and of course, any movies he's involved in, I'm usually there as well.
I was gonna say he's an Oscar winner now, right?
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, I can always pick it out of the movies too, like Tron and stuff like that. I mean, Tron's probably a little more obvious, but some of the more animated films and things like that.
And we'll go full circle, man. I spent 25 years in visual effects as a compositor, and I composited on that first Tron. Nice. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Very cool. Love it.
Thank you. There you go, Dave. Again,
I appreciate you guys and what you're doing. This is like, I love your concept as well. Like, there's so many. I mean, I could tell you a whole bunch of I was there, man, type stories, and I've had so much fun going to live music, and I still try to go to as many like kind of small venue shows as I can. But I absolutely just love it in every genre that you could think of. So
cool, dude.
So before you go, Brad, you got to say,
sir.
I'm Brad, and I was there, man.
I was Brad. I'm Brad. See, I blew it. My name is Brad, and I was there. Yeah, see,
We're using the other one, man. We're using
I'm
the
not
other
a
one.
big
It's
fan.
recorded.
That's funny.
I
I'm
was
with
at
Brad,
a
and
few shows
Brad
one
was
day.
there now. Yeah.
Well, I was Brad when I showed up at this show.
Yeah. Oh, look at the blushing. Nice job.
Thanks, Brad. I appreciate it.
Hey, thank you guys.
Soulyric.
Appreciate you having me on here, and again, thank you for your support. And yeah, feel free to reach out to me. Anybody who has questions or whatever. All right.
Lyric, check it out.
All right. We'll give a link.
right.
Thanks, Brad. Take care.
Good.
Thanks, Jerry.
Don't get in too much trouble tonight, Dave.
That's
I won't.
it, boys.
All right. Take care, fellas.
Catch up. Have a
We'll
great
see you
night.
later. Okay, ciao.
Bye.
Bye.
Now, both Jerry and I have seen Nine Inch Nails in concert. I was in a mosh pit of 300,000 when they crawled out of the primordial mud bath that was Woodstock 94.
And I caught them more than once here in Toronto, at the first Lollapalooza, and years later opening for and then backing up David Bowie at Maple Leaf Gardens.
Hi, it's Dave here to tell you about Soulyric. Our storyteller Brad is the founder. Find it at soulyric.com and Soulyric app on Instagram. That's all one word, Soulyric. It's an AI-powered platform that transforms the song lines and titles that you love into a mirror of self-discovery. Both Jerry and I have tried it and we're blown away by how dead accurate it is.
We came up with the idea of IWasThereMan to curate and preserve the memories of our rock and roll experiences. Music shaped our lives and forged our friendships.
Thanks for joining us, and thanks to Don't Call Me a Nine Inch Nails cult member Brad from Soulyric for that great story. Please like, share, comment, and subscribe, and look for more I Was There Man on all your favorite platforms.